The town of Middle Creek, Oklahoma was like any other early 1900s rural town. It was full of low-class Americans looking to make a living and thrive. Middle Creek was one of the most prosperous small towns in America at the time, with many businesses setting up shop there. There were farmers, butchers, woodworkers, and more. People of all types came to Middle Creek. But that included the bad ones. In early 1908, a man named Jack Carver and his group he dubbed the People of the Night moved into an old cabin just outside of Middle Creek. A few days after the group moved in, the bodies began to pile up. The first victim was Margaret Keeper, a local who owned a small store with her husband. The Middle Creek sheriff found her dead with her throat ripped open and drained of blood outside her home on February the 2nd of 1908. The next victim was Robert Burke, the local butcher. He was found dead in his shop on February the 6th of 1908. It was said that his eyes had been poked out and that he had 2 large wounds on his arms, which drained the blood out of his body. The Middle Creek sheriff had suspicions that Carver and his group were responsible for these grisly murders, but had no direct evidence at the time. There were no more murders for 2 weeks, until February the 20th of 1908, when local authorities discovered a mass killing that had occurred during a town festival, specifically inside the town hall. The only survivors at the event was Jack Carver and 2 of his companions. It was said that they were covered in blood and gore, with Carver supposedly wearing intestines around his neck like a necklace. They escaped through a back door at the town hall and ran back to their cabin. The sheriff rallied the people of Middle Creek and they marched on the cabin. It is said that the townsfolk burned the cabin down with Carver and his compatriots inside, their inhuman screams piercing through the night. In the morning, when the fire died down, the sheriff and the townsfolk inspected the cabin. They found the bodies of every member of the People of the Night except for Carver. It is said his body was never found, and the legend goes that he escaped that night, and that he continued his reign of terror elsewhere. Up next on Mysterious Murders is the case of the boy in the box.